Good morning, good morning, Barbados. Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, 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 morning. Good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados. Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning, morning, Barbados. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Morning to you.
Indeed, good morning to you, one and all. Welcome to today. Today is Thursday. It's the most thankful Thursday, as a matter of fact. Thursday, the 5th of February, 2026. I'm Pearson Bowen. It's always wonderful having you company, indeed. Thank you for waking up. Thank God for waking you up and giving you another opportunity on another day to make the best of today. Today and this moment is all that you literally have. How do you spend your time in that moment? I want you to ponder upon that every minute of every single day to make the best decisions for self and for those who you love as well, and those around you generally. So welcome to today. To those of you watching us on our streams on Facebook, YouTube, and our website, good morning to all of you. Have yourselves a terrific today. We hope that you make the best of it. Talk among yourselves, talk to us as well. And I always remind you every day that if you have an idea, if you know of a story, something that you think, hey, this has to be shown on Morning Barbados, then tell us. And you can tell us by sending us an email. That's the best way, perhaps the only way for you to communicate with us sometimes. Send us an email. Our email address is morninbarbados@cbc.bb. I know a lot of you like to pick up the phone to call. That's not always possible because we're so busy. And this is a busy time for a lot of us. So send the email. We'll see your email and we will respond to you. That email address again is on your screen. It's morninbarbados@cbc.bb. To those of you who do, we say thank you. For those of you contemplating if to do, we say yes. Go ahead, hit send, and we'll be happy. We love to hear from you indeed. So thanks for being obedient to the call and the cause, and thank you so very much for partnering with us at Morning Barbados as well. It is the 5th of February 2026. It is the day on which my godsons celebrate their birthday. Their two boys, they're twin, Christopher and Michael Anderson Birch. They both have the same middle name. Christopher Anderson Birch, Michael Anderson Birch. But you know what was so special about today as well? They continue to mark their birthday with their mother, Catherine Corbin Birch, who celebrates her birthday today as well. So imagine 12 years ago, they're 12 today. So yesterday I said to the boys, this is your last day at 11 years old. Your last day. So then Christopher says to me, oh, thank you for our last meal at 11 years old. Because I bought them a little snack. So to the boys, happy birthday to you today. You know how Uncle feels about you. So continue making yourselves available to God to follow in his footsteps and in his command. And you're doing so well. I'm so very, very proud of you. Two very well brought up, two very, very obedient young men. Indeed, well done, boys. 12 years old today. Christopher Anderson Birch, Michael Anderson Birch, and their mother, Catherine Corbin Birch. Happy birthday to each of you, indeed. All the best, always, from all of us who love you all dearly. If you're following what's going on in Trinidad and Tobago, as we all are, because Carnival is we thing, something happened yesterday. As a matter of fact, there is now a new young Calypso monarch. He is Rivaldo London. Rivaldo London sang a song that looked at the story of Cain and Abel, but from a different perspective. His song is titled Water Thicker. And so he won that contest, and we say congratulations to him. Rivaldo London, I was about to say Rivaldo Leacock. Rivaldo London is a new young King's Calypso monarch. He actually, as a matter of fact, is no stranger to a lot of people. He's 23 years old. But in 2019, he won the Junior Calypso monarch title. So he's been in this business for a little while. So well done to him. Also yesterday, iSlam, the concert series, had its finale. Now, iSlam is a promotion run by Slam 100.5 in Trinidad and Tobago, one of the stations of the Guardian Media Limited. Guardian Media Limited has been working with us at Morning Barbados, bringing to you a lot of the artists who we've been sharing with you throughout the Carnival season. A big thank you to the boys' father, John Birch. And so yesterday they had their finale. Can we share a little bit about it? Because while in that finale, one of our best exponents of the art form, Hyper Songs, made an appearance on stage. It was energetic. The crowd responded well, but I'll let you see for yourself. Take a look at this.
bacon shack over there, no. Strictly cheese and bread. Olia, I want you to help me give this person a warm Trini welcome. Let's bring to the stage Hyper Sounds.
It's the music. Rhythm up. Islam. Set up your test and give me one. Hold on for me and give me joke. Keep on your Susan time attack. Cashing. Set up your test and give me what. Hold on for me and give me joke. Keep on your Susan time attack. Cashing. Go down. Islam, how you feeling? It's the music. Rhythm up. Set up your test and give me what. Hold on for me and give me joke. Keep on your Susan time attack. Cashing. Set up your test and give me what. Hold on for me and give me joke. Keep on your shoes and time. I love you wine. I love you wine. I love you wine. Go down and up. Come up and up. In the center, I just go down and up. Come up and up. In the center, I just girl bounce on it, stick on it, roll on it, catch on it, tip on your toe and drop right down on it. Girl bounce on it, stick on it. You ready again? Catch on it, you ready again? On your toe and drop. More musician vibes again. Yeah. Sing! Yo, DJ, give me the filter. Sing, I sing. Girl, you look. What you put in? Only raising my. See in that sugar one. I love you wine, love you wine, love you wine, love you wine. Your sweetness on it. On the car. If I stand up a little, would you push it back on me? Getting me hyper. It's like I could jam on that. I love you jam, let me 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 jam. Look how you're gonna you give me.
Just a bit of a sugar rush for you in the morning, indeed, of what Hypersound did last night, while performing in the finale of the Islam concert series in Trinidad and Tobago. And you know, as a matter of fact, the Rhythm 1212 that has Tech Charge by Lead Pipe and Status, all of that, that is doing so well in Trinidad and Tobago in this season as well. So again, Barbadians making a big difference in the carnival season for Trinidad and Tobago, which concludes on the 16th and 17th of this month. Carnival Monday and Tuesday, 16 and 17 of February this year. And so to all Barbadians who are continuing to fly the flag proudly and representing the 246, we say thank you so very much as well. If you're listening to 98.1 The One, you would, and 94.7 FM, you'll know we run a countdown. A countdown which we do in collaboration with Vibe CT, again of the Guardian Media Group. And in that countdown, one song has been on the countdown now for the past, from the beginning up until now, it's been at #1. Would they be able at any point in time to dethrone Full Blown's Respectfully Yours? It's big. There is a lot of movement on the countdown as well, so continue listening to our stations for that countdown to get a sense of how the music is positioning. Some of those songs are already produced by Barbadians as well, so there's a lot happening for Barbados in the Trinidad Carnival season as well. It being the 5th, we are now 6 days away from Barbados Decides 2026. Of course, the expert coverage is right here on TV8 and on our social media platforms and all of our stations of the CBC, as well as across our network. We bring you the very latest news from the campaign trail. We will bring you on the night itself wall-to-wall coverage of the results as they unfold. And so we want to encourage you to stay with us for Barbados Decides the General Election 2026. Do not miss a moment. We do also have Election 101, which brings you all of the knows about what you need to know about how Barbados runs its general elections. So look out for that as well on TV8, and all the community profiles, the candidate profiles, all of that we share with you because we want you to exercise your franchise on the 11th of February. Our teams are fanned all across the island, going to every campaign, and we're bringing you through CBC News everything that is important to your helping you to make a decision this time around. So Barbados Decides 2026 right here on TV8 and across the stations of the CBC, all of our radio stations, all of our social media outlets, carrying you the latest from the campaign trail. So you're asking yourself, what were you all doing today? Here's what's coming up today. Today we want to take a look at your heart. And I keep saying to you, sometimes the heart is not so smart, but you can be smart for your heart. And there are things that we want to look at as we meet with the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados. We'll be talking to them. We'll be hearing from a cardiothoracic surgeon about how we can take care of our heart a whole lot better and to avoid surgery where necessary. We'll also today be hearing from a man who has survived a stroke. But he's also written a book that chronicles 100 years of golf at Rockley Golf Club. We want to read the book with him. We want to hear his story as well. We can't wait to interact with him this morning as well. Providing hope through hoops. There is a man who will sit with me as we reach across the seas as well to look at how those of you sports people can be seen and heard and given an opportunity. And you need to know, parents, about that. And we will share that with you before the day is done. Also today, we'll be reaching across to Jamaica to get an update following Hurricane, what's the name of the hurricane again? Melissa. Hurricane Melissa, who hit Jamaica in a very significant way last year. And so we want to know the very latest. What's the picture looking like? And we'll hear from a media practitioner about that. Our question of today. You ready for this, folks? You know, as always, I ask you to give us a call. We ask you to comment on our comment section. Your question today is, what's your top strategy for eating healthier? What is your top strategy for eating healthier? Be honest with me. Could it be you do meal preps on Sundays and you take lunch to work? Is that one of the things that you do? So do you have a healthier eating strategy? Is it that you cut out those processed foods and you go back to the basics, ground provision, as our older people will remind us of? Is that something that you're doing, actively doing as a strategy for healthier eating? Is it that you're eating now more plant-based meals because veggies are our friends? Is that what you're contemplating? Is that what you're also feeding your children and your loved ones? Are you watching your portion sizes? So you're going into now having smaller plates and perhaps, you know, engaging in a healthier habit in eating, looking at the quadrant and how much and what portions you put on your plate in vegetables. Is that the thing that you're doing as well? Or are you now turning to drinking more herbal teas instead of those sugary snacks? Drinking more water instead of those sugary snacks as well? What are you doing? What's your strategy for eating healthier day by day starting today? Call me, 228-5562 or 228-5563, or post your comment in our comment sections on Facebook and YouTube. We love to hear from you. 228-5562 or 63. Let the little ones call as well, because the little ones are fortunate now to have, we old ones, but we tend to think, oh, that's for the younger ones to do, a nutrition policy at school. And a lot of them tend to adhere to that nutrition policy in a very serious way as well. So, what is it? What's your top strategy for eating healthier? Is it either of those that we've shared with you, or do you have another you'd like to share with us? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Call me and let me know. Write and let me know as well. And so to all of you out there somewhere, call me and let me know. What is your strategy? Is that do you prepare, Pat Ben, good morning to you as well. She says good morning to the crew. Do you prepare meals? Do you do a meal prep? I know for a lot of you think that's real work. I think so, that's the truth. I'm being honest. That's real work. But do you do that? Is that your strategy? Prepping meals on Sundays and taking to work your lunch? Or do you go to work and buy something quick? And I say that broadly like that. I think you understand what I'm talking about there. Or do you go to work and you buy consciously the lunch that you eat? Is it that you're now cutting out more of the processed foods and you've gone back to the basics? You're just falling in love again with ground provisions, whether it be cassava, potato, Edos even. I love an okra. I love an okra. I love an okra. I'm telling you now, I love a plantain. Those kinds of things. Are you getting back to those kinds of basics? But in getting back to basics as well, it's also about how you prepare them. That's also part of you considering how you now eat healthier as well. Are you now eating more plant-based meals? I know a lot of you struggle with that. A lot of us struggle with that. But perhaps that's what you're doing now. Is that your strategy? I'd love to hear from you. Give us a call because I'd like to hear your thoughts, your opinions, your plan. What do you do? Portion controls, is that part of it for you? Are you now engaging in all of that? Vereen, good morning to you as well. Hello also to you, all of you commenting on our pages. And drinking herbal teas, a lot of you have gone to that route. And is that it? Is that what you're doing a lot more now? And have you considered the other sides of drinking herbal tea? I say that broadly and leave it right there for you to consider. But all of that what is your healthy habit? Portion control, is it for Nadia Mulchand? You're diabetic, so for you, portion control is important. Are there any other important considerations for you? What are your considerations? 228-5562 or 228-5563. Do as Paula did, and you can comment on our comment section as well. We'd love to hear from you, your thoughts on that question of today. If you don't get through now, continue thinking about it and share your comments, because as the show goes, we will share your comments. We will acknowledge your comments indeed. So 228-5562 or 228-5563. Give you a few more seconds to give us a call and let us know your thoughts on this. What is your top strategy for eating healthier? If you have none, say none. Be honest. That's okay. I have no problem with that. Pat Ben says her strategy is number 2, which is cutting out processed foods, and you've gone back to the basics. She just loves her own cooking. I like that. Number 4 is a big deal for her as well, portion size. So Pat, thank you for considering, the cutting out of processed foods and getting back to the basics. I know where you live though, Pat. I'm not so sure of your access to a lot of the things that we love to eat in Barbados, because she lives in the United States. Do you get all of those things? I know the farmers market. I love the farmers market in the United States. You see, you have so many options available to you of different ground provisions that you can actually use. And so, is that what you do, Pat? Is that part of your shopping strategy as well? The decisions you make in your purchase of whatever, is that part of your strategy, folks? Is that it? We're 16 and a half after the hour. I'm not going to wait for you forever, but if you give me a call now, I'll take your call on 228-5562 or 228-5563. I'm giving you some time to call me now. Tell me, what do you do? What is your strategy for eating healthier? Are you reducing the amount of salt that you use and supplementing it with tasty herbs? I know, and I learned that from my mother. My mother is diabetic, and so I remember the day she had her diagnosis, and suddenly the food tasted good. Not that it didn't taste good before, but she was able to reduce the amount of salt, but she put in something else. I don't know what the something else was, but whatever that something else was good. And so there are different strategies that we can actually use to eat healthier. Johnny Q says he tends not to eat sugary stuff, but I really can't give up my ribs and steaks. I get you. Balance is everything. Any dietitian will tell you, in moderation. Everything in moderation. But he has been able to give up a lot of the things that he's been working on. But see those steaks and those ribs? I get you. I get you, Johnny Q. I get you indeed. Here's your brother. 228-5562. Or 228-5563. I'm being honest with you. I'm being totally honest with you. I'm also being totally honest with you when I say to you, I also know of non-communicable diseases and what could happen. I'm a living example of it, and I know what I had to adjust as well as it relates to my diet. I drink a whole lot more water. Water was not tasty to me. Water is so delicious now. I am telling you, it is amazing how delicious water truly can be. And it's not so much the taste, but it's how satisfying it truly is. So when we tended to want to reach for a sugary beverage, we then realize in the absence of that sugary beverage, how really truly satisfying water is. And I want to encourage you to consider drinking a whole lot more water. It does your body good. You see the difference in your skin. You feel a whole lot different. You feel a lot stronger. You just feel better. Really, really better. Is that part of your strategy as well? Do you eat and drink? Or do you eat and then drink? And what do you drink after you eat? Is it something warm or is it something biting, beastly cold? We tend to do that. And I ask that for a reason, because there's a difference. There's a big difference to how your body processes the food that you've eaten, if it's warm or if it's beastly cold. And if you don't know, perhaps take some time now to consider that. Do some research and see the difference when you eat and you follow it up with something cold, or when you eat and you follow it up with something warm. Consider that today. I'll take a break right here. When we come back, we get right into today's show. We want to hear from the Heart and Throat Foundation about caring for the heart. That and a whole lot more. Stay with us.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
21 minutes now after 6 o'clock on Morning Barbados. We turn our attention to care of the heart. And you know, in February, this is our focus every time, heart health. And so we have to be heart smart as well. We're happy to be joined by the CEO of the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados, Ms. Greta Yearwood. Good morning to you, Greta. Good to have you again.
Good morning to you too, Pearson.
Happy Heart Health Month to you.
And thank you.
You're very welcome. And with her, as you see, smiling right across from her is Dr. Cressida Powlett, who is a cardiothoracic surgeon. Am I right?
You are correct.
I am correct, but what is that?
That is essentially what it says, a surgeon of the cardiothoracic system, which is the heart, the lungs, anything in the chest we operate on.
Do you get a lot of that request for your services?
We get a fair amount. A lot of what we do is trauma, but related to the heart, we do coronary artery bypass and heart valve surgeries for patients who need surgical intervention.
Is it concerning, the statistics and numbers that you see?
No. What I would say is that we have had a decrease in the amount of surgeries that we've done over the last couple of years. That has been brought about because now we're doing more coronary interventions, and then of course we're making a big focus on preventative care for cardiac disease.
In other words, the Heart and Stroke Foundation's message is resonating, right, Greta? It's
Correct.
Resonating, and you're seeing the difference.
Yes, we are.
Describe for me the expanse of that difference that you see as it relates to how people are paying greater attention to heart health.
Okay, we say in the way persons have change their lifestyle, a lot of lifestyle changes in that people are now more conscious of what they intake. They're also more conscious of getting that regular exercise, and one of the things, regular visits to the doctor. So we are seeing a lot of persons taking on that preventive aspect of change in order to live healthy. So we are doing something great because the message is getting out there. The message really is getting out there.
I know your plan of attack, to use that word in quotations, you attack different segments of our community. You target the children, you target the adults, you target all of us. Indeed, is the strategy still as effective, or what would you want to do with the strategy so that it has greater penetration in the different markets?
There's always room for change in terms of looking at how we strategize the way forward for the program, in that we have our children, our youth, where we start there, because in everything you must approach the youth. The youth are the ones who are going to be the future for tomorrow. So we start with the youth through our youth gym program, where we receive children who are clinically obese, and we work with them in helping them to reduce to tackle their obesity. And then that transcends into the cardiac rehabilitative program, which is our main focus, cardiac rehabilitative for both stroke and the cardiac patients. So yes, we can do more, and I believe what we're doing we're doing very good. I must say we're doing very good, but we can do more with the information coming from our cardiac doctors and so who refer patients to us. So yes, we can see that even if there's an increase, we manage it in a way that is a structured way that produces results.
I heard you on this week's Pause for Parenting program. Yes, I listen, I pay attention. And you were asked the question about the young people and the youth gym that you have. Could you explain that to our audience, how that is, and what is that gym designed to do?
Okay. Our youth gym is for children between the ages of 8 to 19. We say 19 because we have some large children, we have some small children, so we say 8 to 19 adolescents. And once they're referred from the doctor, they come into our structured program, because all of our programs are structured in that we have a fitness consultant, there's also the nurse who would admit them and ensure everything, because they have to be assessed. It's not you walk in and you go on a piece of equipment. And there's also the balance programming, that they have the physical activity, they have the educational aspect, and we also work with the nutritionists to ensure that they have a balance in what they intake. And we also involve the parents, because they're the ones who have the spend, and they have to be able to manage what assists us in managing those children and getting them to where we want them to be. And we also spend time with the psychologists, because very often children who are obese, sometimes they're taunted, not deliberately, but little children are not so kind sometimes.
They're bluntly honest. That's what it is.
To each other. So we have to work with those children, because the emotional side of them. So we
and
yes
the two
we
sides
have
of it.
Yes.
You know, when you're obese, and then when you've shed that obesity,
Yes.
the change in look,
Exactly.
and then suddenly you get a whole different kind of attack as well.
Well, what's happened to you? You know, you've gone, but when you're big, you still get the remarks, and when you get small, you also get the remarks.
Yeah.
So what do you do? But we really concentrate on getting those children to a state where they are comfortable within their self-esteem and so. And we work this through a program with the fitness consultants, the nutritionists, and the nurse who conducts the assessment with it. So it is all a rounded program, and it is very when we look at it, we have to realize that our children are our future, and if we concentrate on the children, then the future, the adults, the non-communicable diseases should be not we won't want to reduce to zero, but there will be some reduction in it, because they have been taught how to manage these things. They've been educated. They've been introduced to physical activity. So these things now will become the norm for them. And the country's health bill should see some reduction.
Indeed. So it has all of the benefits wrapped
Yes.
up in that one approach, just looking at our children
Yes.
and managing the process in body and in mind as
Yes.
well. But as a cardiothoracic surgeon, the heart, I want to look at the heart for just a moment. A lot of times we assume that all of the organs in our body, just do it. We just don't get so caught up in what they do and understanding the function. Could you explain to a lot of us, firstly, the function of the heart?
Well, the heart is pretty much the battery of your body. That is what maintains your cardiac output, blood flow all around the body. So if you have any problems with your heart, it will affect the entire body. In terms of, if you have reduced blood flow to all the organs, they won't be able to function optimally. So that's essentially, in a nutshell, the work of the heart.
And it pumps up 8 pints of blood every day, all the time, and it cleanses as it goes.
So what the heart does is just it circulates. Cleansing functions are done by the liver, by the kidneys, and so forth. So your body is a well-coordinated machinery that working together in harmony to make sure that you're in your best optimal health. But all the heart does is that it pumps the blood around the body.
So if it does that, how do we get to you? What happens to get us to you?
So as Greta mentioned, the non-communicable diseases, so obesity, diabetes, hypertension, hypercholesterolemia, which is high cholesterol, all of these can affect the heart and the cardiovascular system in numerous ways. Most commonly, you get the buildup of plaque in the vessels, and that causes a reduction in the blood flow to the heart. So if the heart does not get its own blood supply, then therefore it cannot do its work to supply blood to the rest of the body, and those patients will present with what we call acute coronary events, or heart attacks in common language. So one of the most common surgeries that we perform are coronary artery bypass grafting, which is for patients who've had buildup of cholesterol, plaque, etc. in the blood vessels that are supplying the heart, and therefore we need to bypass them to improve the blood supply to the heart in order to improve the heart function and your overall well-being.
Is it by what I do that I'm met with this situation, or are there other factors that will precipitate me to have those conditions?
So there are numerous factors. So yes, there's a genetic element of it, but a lot of it is things that are modifiable. So things like smoking, uncontrolled hypertension, uncontrolled diabetes, uncontrolled cholesterol, etc., excessive weight, obesity, all of those things can act in tandem to exacerbate the coronary artery disease. So yes, there are some people who will be predisposed because of genetics, and for those people, we want to get them into preventative programs early out so that they are monitored, they have their hemoglobin A1C checked, they have their blood pressure checked regularly, so that we can institute treatment so that they don't get to the point where they need to have coronary surgery.
We tend to think that we might have a cardiac problem because we feel the pain in the chest,
yes,
or we can't breathe as fluently as we would want. Are there any other signs and symptoms that we need to pay close attention to that could well tell us what, the amber light is on? The amber light is on. Go check quickly.
So yes, there's the classic chest pain, shortness of breath. But what a lot of people develop over time, and they just chalk it up to aging, is fatigue. Because what happens is, obviously, if the heart is not able to pump adequate blood, your body will slow down. And then people seem to think that that's a normal part of aging. Which is not necessarily so. So what I would say for people who realize that, you have a reduction in what you're able to do, if you used to be able to walk from here up to the Wildy Gymnasium without any problems, and you now can't do that, those are things that you need to get checked out so you can see your physician. So of course, yes, if you have any chest pain, if you have any shortness of breath, recurrent lightheadedness, those are symptoms that you should seek attention for.
All right. There's much more to this conversation, folks. We'll take a break here. We're coming right back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
I get you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories, and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're looking at our heart and providing hope for you as well, those of you who are challenged with heart and cardiovascular disease in this particular month of February. And we're happy to have with us the Chief Executive Officer of the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados, Greta Yearwood, and Dr. Cressida Powlett, who is a cardiothoracic surgeon. Her name you should recognize from the news because something not just the word miraculous, but really the very first time in Barbados there was groundbreaking results from a surgery. Talk to me a little bit about that, Dr. Paulette.
Okay, so last week on Tuesday, for the first time at Queen Elizabeth Hospital, we were able to conduct a TAVI procedure. So a TAVI is an acronym for transcatheter aortic valve implantation. So essentially what we did is that we changed a patient's valve without open surgery. So traditionally, for surgeons, when we need to do valve surgery, we need to open up the chest, put the patient on the heart-lung machine, stop the heart, and allow us to get access to the valve. So recently, we've been doing a lot of background work in terms of getting this procedure, the feasibility for having the procedure here, but last week we were able to successfully do the transcatheter aortic valve implantation on 2 patients with aortic stenosis. So aortic stenosis is a condition where you get narrowing of the heart valve, which tends to affect us as we get older, and for the same reasons as we mentioned before. Uncontrolled hypertension, high cholesterol, etc., and then just in normal parts of aging, so wear and tear on the heart valve, so to speak. And as a result, it becomes narrowed and calcified, and then the heart has to work harder to try to get blood out to your body. So patients can present for this with fainting episodes, chest pain, shortness of breath, etc. So this condition generally affects older patients, so people like in their 60s, 70s, 80s, who generally are not good candidates for open surgery because of the advanced age. So this is why this procedure was first developed in the first world, and we were able to bring it here to Barbados. So we did 2 cases last week. Both patients are doing well. Patients were 77 and 81, and they were home in 2 days' time.
Wow, the recovery rate is fantastic.
Yes.
And so what does this now mean for the work that you guys do at the hospital?
So it means that for a subset of patients, the elderly patients who may be afflicted with this condition, that we now have an option for them, because previously it would just be medical management, so control your blood pressure and so forth, and then we'll just continue to monitor them. But now we have intervention. We have something that we can do for it, because we know that once these patients start to get symptoms, the life expectancy is 2 years with patients with severe aortic stenosis. Yeah.
So you're able to perhaps extend.
So we're able to, yes.
This is brilliant. This is brilliant. You don't have to travel somewhere else to do so. It's now being done at our hospital, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Well done to you and your team.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Paulette. But this ties in beautifully, Greta, with the work of the Heart and Stroke Foundation. I know you've been advocating for so much over so long a period of time. And though it's not an old organization by comparison with some other organizations, the work you do is significant at the Heart and Stroke Foundation. What else are you doing, particularly in this month of February, so that you continue the awareness about the work of the Heart and Stroke Foundation?
Yes, personally, we at the foundation are really eager to assist with patients with any preventative matters and through our cardiac rehabilitation department. But this month especially is our Wear Red Awareness Month, and Wear Red is really focusing on women health, women heart health, and with that we try to do things, raise more awareness in terms of getting persons to understand CPR, how the relation between CPR and heart health, because as we all know, the first responder is the one who is really there to help, and that is where we push that notion. The government has legislated something back that there should be at least 2 persons within a workplace, and where there's 25 or more, they should have at least 2 persons certified in first aid training. And that is one of the things we push. We always say instead of 1 person, you should have 2. The one on the ground is the one who we've taught, who's the first responder, the one, so in that case, they cannot be helped. But if you have 2 in a household, then the one on the ground and the other person can assist that person who is on the floor. So we have our ECC program where we teach emergency cardiac care, which persons refer to first aid, but it's really more than first aid, because we do getting you to restore life to your heart in that time until help comes. And we also have our educational side, which is the community wellness, where we go into the community and we try to do our prevention there, getting persons to know their numbers. You know, you persons walking around, your cholesterol can be high. So all these things, we do a lot of education, prevention. And so this month we are focusing on Wear Red, where we will be asking persons to wear red to create awareness in heart disease for women. Men can wear red also to support the women, the red tie, the red socks, anything red, the red shirt, whatever they want to wear. So this month is Wear Red Awareness. And we at the Heart and Stroke always commemorate with some event. So this next 2 Saturdays we'll be having our polo, which is also a stroke. Polo is a stroke in terms of helping to, you know, we prevention, stroke prevention. So anything with a stroke that we also support. So this coming next 2 Saturdays, February 21st, is our polo event, and we're also asking persons to support that, because all these things, all these events, the funds go to raising awareness and also to help us with our rehabilitation.
I really hope, folks, you're paying attention. We only think of these organizations when a loved one or ourselves are met with a condition. I didn't know about them. I really didn't care much about that. I'm one. I could say it until I too myself survived a couple strokes. And so for those of you who are watching, your support of really goes a long way in helping others manage their particular condition as well. But there's so much more we can do. We started this morning with asking, what is your strategy for eating healthy? And you know, it can sometimes start with the mouth, what it is that you consume that will affect the rest of your organs to prevent you having to go and see Dr. Paul. You know, a lot of that happens. And so we really want to give conscious thought to what we're sharing this morning and your support of the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados. If you wear the color red in support of the women and cardiovascular disease in women, we encourage you to do so. And if you remember, the heart is not on your left chest, right, Dr. Paulette? The heart is in the center, right?
Yes. The heart sits in the center, but
correct. Somewhere in here. So when you do your compressions, it's not on your left chest. No, you're not hitting the heart yet. It's right here, right in the middle. And that is part of the education that you do as well, particularly with children and with families and groups. So if any group watching today and saying, you know what, we need to know more, because we do have some seniors in our group that we need to have further educated so we ourselves are able to help them as they age and as we age. How can we contact you?
You can call the foundation at 537-3312 or admin, who is 2664612, and you 2664612 or 537-3312, and you can book an appointment. You can come in a group, or even we have started a short program where we are reaching out to churches, and so where we are conducting first aid. We call it just a CPR demo, and then you come in testing you to see what you, and then you come and we have the full course. You can complete the full course at the foundation.
We got you. We got you. We just shared with you on our screen as well while Greta was talking, the page that you will see when you go to the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados for you to get in contact with. And it's important that you have that as one of your emergency numbers so that you know where to reach out to when your loved one is met with these kinds of conditions as well. Dr. Paulette, thank you so much for your phenomenal work as one of Barbados' best surgeons and the work that you continue to do at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital and the education that you continue to share. We thank you.
Thank you.
And Greta, as always, big thanks to you and the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados. Again, for great work. We want to encourage our viewers and listeners as well to wear red. And it's wear red every Friday?
Friday, tomorrow is the official Wear Red Day. Friday, the first, is always the first Friday in February.
Got you.
But you can continue during the remainder of the week.
Yeah.
The remainder of the month, sorry.
Do I have red socks? I'll look at that tomorrow. Thank you so very much for joining us. We wish you well, both
Thank
of
you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. We're taking a break here, folks. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author,
So we're 14 minutes now to go to the hour of 7 o'clock as we turn our attention, continuing the conversation we've just had with the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Barbados about non-communicable diseases and the consequences that could flow therefrom. I have with me, across from me right now, Mr. Clarence Hiles. He's an author, and we'll talk a little bit more about his book in a moment, but he is a survivor of strokes. Clarence, good morning to you. I want to hear your story. I think we all want to hear your story, not to, as we say in Barbados, malicious in your business,
right,
but to understand what it is that you've been through.
My story, well, I didn't really feel that I had a heart problem until I was 60, 61, 62, but I had AFib, atrial fibrillation. My heart was beating too fast, and so I went to the cardiologist, and the cardiologist pointed out just exactly what had happened in my body. And I always remember that because he said to me that alcohol seems to be the thing that starts the rhythm starts. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, what can I do about it? And he said, well, you can give up alcohol. And I said, well, as an Irishman, it was quite a shock. And he said, he said you can drink as much as you like, but he said there will be consequences. Mm-hmm. And I said, like what? And he said, death. So I said, put the fear of God on me. And when I went back to my wife, Pamela, and I said, look, I've given up drink. And she laughed and said, no, that'll not last. And but it did. So I had 14 years without alcohol.
Wow.
And so I thought that that the rhythm would actually come back in the rhythm, and that it would be okay. But then we couldn't get a regular beat, and so the heart kept bouncing far too much. Mm-hmm. We tried various other places. I'm
going to relieve you of that. Just yep. Pause for just a moment.
Yep.
What we're talking to here, folks, is a man who, from his story, we can learn a lot. You just heard. He just felt an irregular rhythm. And recognizing all of that, obviously it impacted the way he breathed, and a whole host of dysfunction, but it caused him pause and it caused him concern. What we generally tend to do is try to fix it ourselves. And Clarence's story is one that will tell us that we can't fix everything ourselves. But in fixing it, there are some things we have to sacrifice. And if we want to feel better, be better, do better, we have to be prepared to make that level of sacrifice as well. It is truly a story of inspiration and information that we all need to pay very, very close attention to. And I hope that you're doing so, because a lot of you, I'm not a drinker myself, but a lot of you know the dependence on the drink. His is cultural. For a lot of you, it is a decision that you choose to make. And it's a decision that you can choose to make to do differently as well. So you went to the doctor, you were told all of this was happening, you made the decision, you communicated with your family that you have to give up one of your favorite pastimes, and that became a bit of a struggle.
Yeah, it was. Certainly with my friends, they said, no, that won't last. And but it did last. I mean, I had 14 years without it. So, however, we still couldn't get the rhythm to start, and we tried various other things to do that, and including the paddle, for example, which I'm sure you are aware of that, the shock and the restart, and but it didn't work. So it was decided that we would go to London to get an ablation, and that would hopefully solve the problem. So I went in 2016 to Harley Street, and the surgeon said there was a risk involved, and the risk was 1.5 to 3%. Unfortunately, I was in the 1.5 to 3%, and after I'd the recovery went very well, and but at the very end of it, I had a stroke, and the stroke then, I think really all hell broke loose because what had happened, and I was moved from hospital to hospital, and eventually at the North Middlesex Hospital, and at the stroke unit, and I didn't really know what was happening about the whole thing. When I woke up and I was looking around, and I couldn't really speak. I slurred, and I couldn't read or write. I didn't recognize my wife. I didn't recognize family. So it was it was the bleakest period in my life, to be honest with you. But I spent 5 weeks there at the unit, and the therapy started virtually the day after it. And my brother John came from Belfast to go to there Monday to Friday to try and teach me to read and write. And then when I was discharged, eventually, after 5 weeks, Pamela took me back to Barbados, and the therapy then restarted. So it spent therapy was extremely difficult at that time. There's lots of things I could do and couldn't do, and I did all sorts of little funny games and whatnot, and it was really like kindergarten that I would actually
go right back to the
correct back to roots.
Yeah.
No.
I get you, and so it's a story. I'm glad you told the story, because I hope that a lot of people see themselves in that telling of your story about how challenging it can be, but how we could just do some simple things to prevent meeting that particular challenge. But thank God, by the grace of God, you survived it. You're doing well, and you've learned a lot from that experience, part of which you've actually written in a book. The book, folks, we will share with you. Clarence Hales is the author of a book that tells a story. This story is riveting. It's written in text and pictures, and we'll share that with you right after this break.
Some ask, What makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country? Well,
We have about 5 minutes to go through 100 years of history of the Rockley Club here in Barbados. And this book that I hold in my hand, Rockley Club, Rockley Golf, the story, is researched and written by J. Clarence Hiles, who's with me. And so, Clarence, let's talk a little bit. First of all, where is it? A lot of people don't know where this is.
Yeah, a lot of people ask, where is Rockley? Rockley's in the south coast. It's it's inland, but at probably about 500 yards from Accra Beach, and it's a lot of people who are at and who are holidaying at Barbados at Rockley refer it as an oasis, a paradise, because it's 9 holes and it's set within clusters of condominiums with beautiful trees and beautiful surrounds. It really is in many ways an oasis.
In your research of the history, what did you find most interesting?
The most interesting, in what aspect? What aspect?
You tell me. In any aspect at all, anything at all you found interesting?
I found the whole place to be something very, very special. Where there are lots of golf courses around in Barbados. There are 5 or 6 courses, but Rockley was something special, and everybody always said it is very special. So, and I think we could safely say that it was for maybe aging people who were maybe quite comfortable about a leisurely walk around the golf course, more so than maybe a championship course. So it was never geared like that, but it was 9 holes and set in a really lovely environment, and we pride in the fact that our 19th hole, in other words, the revelry that stopped after the game, was very, very special, and it's renowned over the years. And when I did the research, actually, I thought, well, this has just started, after the snowbirds had arrived in 30 years ago, but that's not true. It was actually the 19th hole was renowned in the 50s as well, which I'd been told by various people that I'd met. I met with probably about 40 people individually that helped me to actually say what had actually happened in the past. And I was very privileged to meet some of the people, some of the characters there. People like David Allen, who's the wicket keeper in Barbados, and who was very close with Rockley. And he told me a lot about the 40s and the 50s. And then we had in the 50s and the 60s, we had Denny Foster, an authority in golf, authority in Barbados golf, and he told me a lot about it, and Steve Thomas as well, Sir Paul Almond as well. So I was very fortunate to have these people that were still alive that could tell us just exactly how special Rockley was.
Yeah. The 1920s was different from the 2020s as we are right now. And so you've been able to look at all of that from the very beginning, right through the people who've been through Rockley Golf Club as well, and the different activities that occurred there. It's a very extensive book with lots of pictures of people who've been having just loads of fun, and you've covered all of this in this one publication. And this is just one of the series of books you've written. Talk to me a little bit, very briefly, about when we turn the pages of this book, what we will encounter as we go.
Well, you're right. You're quite right about saying that it was very different in the 1920s. I mean, it's our centenary this year, and it's very special. I mean, 100 years, for probably from the 1930s, 1920s, 30s, we had just the only golf course until 1961 when Sandy Lane was open. So I was able to cover all that, those, what actually happened in those early days, because it was really swampland, and it was with mosquito infested, and we had the founding fathers that actually set up the course, and there were the founding fathers were George Manning, Vicky Paraficino, and his brother Poor Bob, and they actually were the founding fathers. They never played golf at all, but they were businessmen, and they understand what tourism is all about. And so I traced that the whole way through until 1975, when the whole transformation of Rockley changed with the clusters and with the hotel operations, and then I moved the whole way to the current time, where we've had rough times, the good and bad over the years, but we're now, after 100 years, we're now probably a healthy place to be in Barbados.
So all of that, you see the good times, the rough times, and now the healthy times as well. In the story of Rockley Golf, researched and written by J. Clarence Hiles, is this available locally or online?
Yes, it's available at the Pro Shop, and it can be purchased at $50, so it's quite cheap, to be honest with you.
It's very affordable indeed. Thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for taking the time to research the story that has to be told. I think there's a lot of history in there that children, the younger generation, need to know. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Morning Barbados breaks right here. We're coming back in just a moment.
God will not give you a job. God will not call you to do something and then not give you the capacity to have it, to make it happen. He will give you the resources, he'll give you the people. Not only will he equip you with ideas, but he will equip you with favor, as he did Nehemiah.
Turn on the latest episode of Infinite Possibilities, only on CBC TV8, every Sunday at 1:30 p.m., sponsored by Covenant Life Teaching Center.
Welcome to Nature's Discount, the ultimate health food store. At Nature's Discount, we have thousands of quality products at great prices.
Hi guys, Dottie here with Nature's Discount, and today we are talking about Solar Ray Microbiome Probiotics and why you should be taking them.
And we have well over 3,000 amazing products to help you get healthy.
For your health tips, tune in to CBC TV8 every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for Nature's Discount, sponsored by Get Healthy Incorporated.
98.1 The One, your number one party station. With an audience from 18 to 40, we keep you engaged, energized, and entertained. Choose 98.1 FM, The One.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Let's look at the news now. Chief Electoral Officer Sherlyn Turton is reporting that early voting went smoothly yesterday and there was a strong turnout. All 30 polling stations opened on time and there were no formal complaints as election workers and members of the Armed and Protective Services cast their ballots. While final turnout figures are yet still to be released, Ms. Turton said early indications pointed to strong participation, with some areas recording turnout in the 70 to 80% range and most reporting over 50%. She also addressed reports circulating online about a possible issue during the early polling.
There was an online suggestion that there was a problem, but on investigation we realized that that was not so. The process went very smoothly according to plan. We were prepared for what we had to do.
From the Caribbean community and the Commonwealth, election observers mission are due to arrive in Barbados today. Their visit follows a formal invitation from Prime Minister Mia Amor Motley, who says the observers will help ensure the election meets the highest standards of transparency, democracy and the rule of the law. During their stay, the mission will monitor the campaign, oversee voting on February the 11th, and assess the counting and tabulation of results. Observers are expected to meet with the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, political parties, the media, and civil society groups. After the election, they will release preliminary statements, followed by a comprehensive report of their findings. Prime Minister Motley says her administration intends to move ahead with plans to expand care for senior citizens and people with disabilities. Speaking at a meeting in Welchman Hall, St. Thomas, she said these projects, now cleared through the planning stage, form a part of the government's commitment to social protection and inclusive development for the island's most vulnerable. Ms. Motley confirmed that 2 additional homes have already received approval, while construction continues on the first facility at Stirling St. Philip.
The second one, for which the plans have already finished, is here in Edge Hill, St. Thomas. And I fully anticipate that within the next 9 to 12 months, that community at Edge Hill will start to be built. And the third one is at Odell's Glen in St. George. Now, a government only does this if it is serious about decentralizing services and bringing things to the community, to people.
The Democratic Labour Party has outlined 6 major initiatives it wants to implement. St. George North candidate David Warren presented the proposals at a meeting at the Glebe St. George last night. Among the plans are the establishment of a constituency care centre and the creation of an emergency assistance fund aimed at providing support directly to residents in need.
A place where you can walk in, explain your situation, and receive help. The Emergency Need Fund will support families facing sudden hardship, whether it be from natural disaster, medical emergencies, job loss, or even situations where a student is having difficulty with financing their studies.
Residents of St. Lucie are being urged to break their silence and speak up about the national issues affecting the constituency ahead of next week's general election. For months, residents of the Northern Parish have been grappling with several problems ranging from water woes to inadequate transport. And addressing a spot meeting at Pike Corner last night, Friends of Democracy candidate for St. Michael's Central, Ramon Wiggins, urged them not to be afraid to voice their concerns.
People of St. Lucie, stop settling for less. And as I was saying, the guys down in Broomfield, when we ask them if they want to make a statement on camera, everybody running and ducking. They say I could tell about the water, but not on camera. So if I tell you that, my friends and my family gonna be upset. You want about your friends and family say you're drinking brown water, you don't want the best of Barbados to know. You let somebody come and say about it's safe to drink, and you can't even wash white clothes or take a proper shower and itching all over. People are scared to talk out. But like I said, it is not disrespect. You're speaking up for yourself. And if you're not getting the representation you deserve, you got to speak out. And speak.
Day is next week and schools across the island will be closed to facilitate voting. Word of this from Chief Education Officer Dr. Ramona Archer-Bradshaw.
The Ministry of Educational Transformation wishes to inform the public of the closure of schools to facilitate general elections scheduled for the 11th of February 2026. Kindly note that on Tuesday, the 10th of February 2026, all public schools will be closed at 1 p.m., while on Wednesday, the 11th of February, all public schools will be closed.
Barbados has taken a major step towards strengthening food security and transforming agriculture with the official handover of the Hope Agricultural Training Institute in St. Lucie. The state-of-the-art facility, built with support from the People's Republic of China, is expected to play a key role in training the next generation of farmers and agro-entrepreneurs. Deanza Roberts reports.
The Hope Agricultural Training Institute is now officially in the hands of the Barbados government. The 45-acre campus, constructed under the China Aid project, is designed to modernize agriculture education and equip young Barbadians with the skills needed for a changing global food system. Prime Minister Mia Mottley says the country must now move away from outdated plantation models towards innovation and youth-driven enterprise.
We recognize, not now, but in the first time under Owen Arthur, and I want to salute him for it, that if we were going to be able to successfully establish an agricultural sector, we needed to be able to turn away from the plantation model. And we needed to be able to recognize and highlight that the marriage of capital, money, the marriage of technology, the marriage of innovation, and the marriage of the passion of our young people with the appropriate regulatory frameworks, recognizing that without an export sector, much of what we do in this country would become unaffordable and incapable of being sustained.
Minister of Training and Tertiary Education Sandra Husband says she is happy that the Institute will deliver targeted training across the agri-value chain, from production to food technology and entrepreneurship.
This approach ensures that graduates are not only qualified, but work-ready, equipped with technical competence, problem-solving ability, teamwork skills, and a strong understanding of industry standards and expectations. The impact of this endeavor is clear. A skilled workforce delivers higher productivity, improves efficiency, reduces waste, and raises the overall competitiveness of the sector.
The Institute features greenhouses, processing units, laboratories, outdoor training plots, and livestock facilities, all aimed at hands-on learning. Barbados Labour Party candidate for St. Lucie, Peter Phillips, says the Institute is an investment in the future of St. Lucie and Barbados' agriculture sector.
We gather here to celebrate our relationship with the China Aid project and the handing over of the Hope Agricultural Training Institute, a facility that represents hope, opportunity, and a brighter future for our agricultural sector. I have always seen St. Lucie as the heart of agriculture in Barbados. The parish has boasted of fields of sugarcane, vibrant vegetable farms, and for the past 7 years I have advocated and led to ensure that this parish remains instrumental in sustaining our food security and preserving our agricultural heritage.
Leaders say the Institute will not only train students, but also offer courses to ordinary Barbadians, supporting backyard gardening, small farming, and food production nationwide. Deanza Roberts, CBC News.
Let's turn to sports now. The Barbados Under-17 football team got off to a winning start, edging hosts Trinidad and Tobago 1-0 in their opening match of the CONCACAF Under-17 qualifiers. Adam King proved the difference as he headed home the winner in the 75th minute after a well-placed assist from Ashawn Grisha. Goalkeeper Khalik Lashley was instrumental in securing the victory, producing a heroic save in the 85th minute and preserved the lead for the Tridents. Lashley finished with 4 saves and a clean sheet in a solid all-round performance in the goal posts. Here are the highlights.
It's Barbados against the hosts, Trinidad and Tobago, here at Hasley Crawford Stadium in Port of Spain. Trinidad and Tobago. Really positive from Barbados once again, keeping the momentum on the volley, chested down, gathered by Mikhail Clement. Sent long by Khalik Lashley, a lot of bodies forward, headed toward goal, but wide. Stays in play. Play it in, back post, knotted down, a lot of traffic in front, and it's in! Amid all the traffic and chaos, Barbados scores the opening goal. Adam King with the moment. Just able to redirect it over the keeper, Clement. Could only give up so many set pieces before. And there is the final whistle. You see what it means for the Barbados players. A 1-0 victory over the hosts to begin Group A play.
Barbados on Saturday will play against St. Martin. That's a look at news and sports. Don't forget to stay with the CBC for continued coverage of Barbados Decides 2026, the general election across our platforms, TV8 and all of our radio stations, as well as our social media platforms. We encourage you to stay with CBC. Morning Barbados is back in a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Yes, I can.
Hey there, it's Mahalia. I want to share something that might be really helpful. If you're feeling anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, or lonely and have no one to talk to, call Lifeline Barbados. We all face struggles at times in our lives. You're not alone. There's no need to feel ashamed or embarrassed. It's okay to reach out for support. Lifeline Barbados is completely confidential. No one else will know you called. They're there to offer a caring ear and guidance without judgment. And fellas, I want you to know asking for help is a true sign of strength. It takes real courage to reach out. You can also call Lifeline Barbados if you're worried about loved ones who are struggling and you need advice on how to support them. There's a saying, a problem shared is a problem halved, but not everyone has someone they can confide in. That's why Lifeline Barbados exists, to be there for you or someone you care about during tough times. Save this number. Lifeline Barbados is just a call away. Remember, you can reach out whenever you need to talk.
Books open your heart, your mind, and your soul. They are educational, entertaining, inspiring, and motivating. Are you an author of a recent book you want to share? Then Mornin Barbados would love to feature your book in our The Next Chapter segment. Send us an email to morninbarbados@cbc.bb. That's morning without the G. Come and let us turn those pages together.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations.
Morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
We're 18 minutes now after 7 o'clock as we turn our attention to providing hope for our young people, hope for our talented young people, hope for young people who sometimes feel there is no hope, but there is hope. And so providing an opportunity is Patrick Tannis, because Patrick Tannis has connections. And those connections he leverages all the time to be able to provide that hope for a lot of young people who come from in what we consider at times tan. I call him tan. We've been working together for so long. You know, that's what we do, right?
It's true.
Who find themselves as classified as disadvantaged.
It's true.
And that nothing good can come from. But you see this differently.
I do, my brother. And good morning, Pearson.
Yeah,
a top banker, top banker. I'm telling you, right? We had some fun, man. So working in Barclays was a tremendous opportunity, right, for all of us. I came from just over the road in the Pine, Wildy area. And, through Pinelands, we're launching something amazing, right? Rob is partnering with us to launch a portal in Barbados, well, literally through the world, but Barbados has this great opportunity through the Pinelands International Basketball Federation, we're calling it, to allow for school kids to let their talents be seen, literally, through this portal to thousands of coaches in the United States to give them scholarship opportunities, B.
The Rob you spoke of is Robert Henry, who is the director of the same portal you were talking about, which is the high school basketball portal. Robert, good morning to you, by the way.
Good morning.
Don't think we've forgotten you. We know you're there. We will be contacting you in just a moment. But maybe I'll ask you while you're here. You are a director of this portal. Why was this portal designed, and what is it designed to do?
Well, the history of recruiting high school players, in particular in this case, basketball players.
As technology goes.
I had to hit my button again. Yeah. Going back to the early days when I was a basketball player in high school, the recruiters came around talking to my parents, and again, no one in my family had gone to college prior to that, and they really didn't know how to react to the offers that I had gotten. And so that was a difficult period, and picking the right school and understanding how the system worked was very difficult. Now, fast forward, we now have the NCAA settling a lawsuit this past summer having to do with compensating their players, the college players, which of course are recruited from the high school ranks. So when a high school player now is approached by a recruiter, there's a whole lot of things on the table that I never saw. That is not only just a scholarship, but financial assistance. And then you go even further, and you have now what is called I'm having a brain thing here. The NIF, the name, the NIL, which stands for name, name and likeness, right? So an athlete can be compensated for a company using his name or likeness. So the whole landscape for high school amateur players is completely different. Now, the folks that have money or means can send their children to the sports academies to get training, get more academics. But the kids that came from my part of the woods don't have that. So what we've done is we've launched this website, and we've actually, it came live back in July and August, but we've been getting out the bugs, and now we're launching it. Barbados, given through Patrick here particularly, is one of our first places we're launching. I'm in Ohio right now, and I'm talking to the folks in my old athletic conference, and we're doing a launch here. Now, the Barbados and my old conference are going to be the first into the system, and which I'm going to be very appreciative of. And so what we want to do is get all the basketball players that we can up on the system, because the system gives them a lot of resources, and that's such as, you know, we have blogs up, we have articles on how parents should be helping their athletes, how those athletes can train, how they can have diets. I saw earlier on the program where you had a segment on diet. Athletes have to follow and should follow
an appropriate diet that meets the particular need of the particular craft. I get you right there, you know. And so this is going to be launched there and launched here at Tanis. Talk to me a little bit about the launch that's coming up and what you see as the real great opportunities for the boys from the Pine and the girls from the Pine.
Well, we want to do it, Pearson, in like a national way that we make through Mornin Barbados, partnering with great professionals like yourselves, right, and CBC, to allow for Barbadians to know, every parent to know, every school, and now every school child to know, in the high school and then extended colleges and so on, Barbados Community College, the tertiary areas, you can put up, if you have these skills, you can put them up into this portal, right? And through CBC, of course, we'll make it available and all the other means. But through this portal, you can put up your talented views of yourself, right? Using something as simple as a cell phone. Have your friends or your parents record you playing the game, you know, going through the routines, and then we'll put it up in the portal. And what Bob is saying, and by the way, Bob is one of the top securities experts in the world, literally, right? He's done very well in Wall Street and in New York City. But to have, right, the colleges that he is putting on board, we're talking about thousands of coaches to be able to see the kids. And then when they see them, they can make a decision to allow that kid to go to a university, a college, and to get a thorough education that they would not have ordinarily been able to afford from Barbados. This is amazing, right? Yeah. So this launch for Barbados, so what he's doing in the United States right now is allowing for those coaches to get acquainted with the portal so that when they look at Barbadian kids, they can see those kids with those skills, you know, going up and opening those doors. Now, let me also say this, right? The Trump administration is going to be very, very amiable to allowing Barbadians to come up and go to school. We've cleared this already. I can say this, right? That the United States will be working really closely with Barbados to make sure that this happens.
This is brilliant. This is fantastic. And the portal promises youngsters and parents who are watching that your child can get seen, your child can get recruited, and your child can play at the next level. And in all of that cycle, the child will be compensated for doing so. So imagine for just a moment, when you ask your little boy child to go outside and play with that ball and don't be inside, that you are not even realizing that you're really building his capacity to earn in a very significant way.
And girls too, Pete. And girls too, huh?
And girls as well.
Yeah.
So it is not gender specific. Is it age specific though?
I would think that it's those ages that people want to see kids like 15 to 17 will be the ideal ages, right? So it allows for, we have a really good sports program in our schools, Pearson. Trust me, the National Sports Council is doing an amazing job, right? I was a product of that, right? In the Tri-Stars, the BB Tri-Stars program, George Shepard, the late George Shepard. Well, what we're going to do is ask, right, for the kids to start with those programs. Cosmo Edwards, Zaire Matera, those guys are in the schools right now. Denise Aline, they're in the schools working with the school kids. Allow your kids, right, to be a part of that so that they can build the basics. And then when they get to the basics and surpass those basics, then we can start to upload them, even now.
Even now. Also joining us this morning is another one who has been a part of this amazing opportunity. His name is Lawrence Steckman. Lawrence Steckman is a friend of Barbados. I could say so now, right?
He is.
Dad? He is truly a friend. Lawrence, good morning to you.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
You quite well. We can all hear you quite well. It's so good to hear and see you as well. What do you see to be important that people of Barbados need to get about this opportunity being provided by this portal?
Well, I think first of all, it's really an extraordinary opportunity to give young people a chance that they otherwise wouldn't have. But for the program, for certain people, Bob Henry, for example, basketball gave him an opportunity to choose from a number of different colleges, and those colleges gave him the opportunity to have an extraordinary career as a securities professional that he might not have had he not had the opportunity to go where he did. So I think it's an extraordinary thing. I think the fact that Bob Henry is taking his time to develop this program is also an extraordinary thing, where he's really, giving back. And I think he's really quite a role model for young people coming from a sports background and using the kind of skills that he developed as an athlete, his competitive nature, etc., applying them in the securities industry, becoming a top securities professional, which is how I met him and how we became friends.
It sounds really good. There's a part of our human nature that says, but when it sounds so good, I'm a little bit cautious. So talk to me a little bit more about that there, Lawrence, about what are the guarantees so that you calm the spirit and the mind of those who are saying, this sounds really, really good. I'd love my child to be exposed to this, but I'm not so sure. Assure them.
Well, look, in every endeavor in life that's competitive, there's always a certain level of risk. And that really comes with the territory. If you're engaging in the kind of activities that a lot of people want to participate in. But I think what this particular program does, it kind of evens the playing field somewhat, because the kind of people who the program, would give access to, these are people who might not otherwise have the same opportunities as people coming from other socioeconomic backgrounds. So for me, I see it as kind of a leveler in the field, giving people a great opportunity. Now, certainly, there's no guarantees that anybody is going to achieve anything, but I think Bob Henry's history is an example of what happens when you take the kind of skills that you have from competitive sports and apply them in competitive business, and overall you end up with significant opportunities, and hopefully you have people who'll be able to take advantage of them and maybe do a little bit better in life than they might otherwise due to limits that they had because of whatever their socioeconomic backgrounds might have been.
Opportunity also to answer that question in terms of calming the minds and the spirits of anyone who is excited by this but a little bit cautious about it. What guarantees can you offer?
Well, I would say that the guarantee that you have is that your child is going to be given the same opportunity as other people, regardless of a background. And I don't think that there's any more guarantees that are possible than to know that you're being given, the best opportunity that you can to show off the skill sets that you have and to be judged by them, because the vehicle that's being used is making it so. So to me, that should be a calming influence, notwithstanding there's always risk in every endeavor in which you engage.
For sure. Lawrence, I'll tell you what, we'll take a break right here. But Robert, when we come back, I want to hear your response to that, Robert, as well. But I also want to hear the how. We're excited about what next. We'll talk about that with these gentlemen right after this break.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There are several opportunities abound through basketball and your prowess at basketball as young as you are. And so those opportunities are being presented through the high school basketball portal. We've been talking about this. You hear the benefits. You ask now, how do we start the process? And that's why we turn our attention to. Patrick Tannis is with me online. Joining us is Lawrence Steckman, who is a friend of Barbados, who's been a part of this process as well. And the man who directs the high school basketball portal is Robert Henry. Tan, I'll start with you. From our perspective here in Barbados, what now do we do so we get our children seen and heard and recruited?
Yeah, so the portal, Pearson, will be made available and literally through Pinelands basketball also, right? We have a court that's now being refurbished by the government, right, in the Pinelands area. You can check with us. We're going to make it available through the Sports Council of Barbados, through the various coaches, Neil Murrell and the Minister of Sports. These are very good professionals. Barbados really has it going on, Pete? So we're going to make it available through them as well. We're going to make it available through the Ministry of Education. Let them see it. We're inviting Rob to actually come to Barbados, right, and speak to us about it in person, where we're going to have some forums and so on where he presents it to the parents. But right now, Pinelands basketball, they're the ones that are leading it. We are the ones in Pinelands basketball leading it. They'll be hopefully here tomorrow, I hope, where they can speak some more about it. And then, right, through the Ministry of Education, we're going to make it through the Ministry of Sports. We're going to show these things to those leaders inside there so that they can formally send them out to the schools and to the various young peoples and their parents as well. Yeah.
That's on the Barbados side. Robert, from your end, what next do we need to do to be a part of the portal?
Simply, well, let me make one comment about something Larry said, and that's really important, is that the portal levels the playing field. So those young players who don't have the means to go to sports academies or to get some other sort of promotion, the portal offers a complete shop and stop kind of place. And I use the word shop because there's no cost to this, and it's totally free. But if the young player goes to the portal, he can find all the resources he needs to become a 5-star athlete. And as I said before, it has to do with diet, training, resources such as my number's up on the portal. I can be called by any student that wants to speak to me. Making sure that when he puts up his statistics and his videos, they are complete and good so that he can be noticed by coaches. So the first step is the student goes to the website. He creates his own profile, puts up his picture, puts up his statistics, puts up his GPA, because obviously that's important to college recruiters. And the second step is basically putting up video clips of his of abilities, particularly showing something like a vertical jump or his jump shot or rebounding capabilities, short clips that focus on those things. That is all the student has to do, and the rest is up to us. And we build in so that the coaches can sort and search for any type of players they want. If they, particularly on the international side, and the international side, players don't have some of the advantages that players have here in the States, in that they get more promotion here, where international students, particularly in the third world countries like Africa and those places where recruiters are searching these places for new recruits, and our portal supplies that exposure. So first and foremost, get the student up on the portal. We will be looking at the portal. Our coaches will be looking at the players, and we're off to the races.
The races. We're coming to the races indeed. Barbados has a lot of horses in that race too as well. And so that's the guarantee that we now hear will be provided when you go to the high school basketball portal. Tanis, you're saying that Pinelands will be able to help us populate the portal and efficiently so that we get seen, get recruited, and get to play at the next level as well, right?
Yes, they will. They have a guarantee with that. Even though we had a meeting up to this weekend that's just gone, Pinelands, the leadership, the players even, and we have a machinery, you may say, put in place where we are ready to help with the processing of the information, right? We have Nicola Ronaldo Mon, the head coach. We have Ian Alexander, who's at the University of the West Indies, and also, he works with Sporting in Barbados. We have many people who are going to be willing, and they're able to help guide the process. So reach out to us in Pinelands. It's right there down the street.
These are exciting times indeed. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Patrick Tanis, who has, again, forged that opportunity for a lot of Barbadians here by his linkages. And thank you for leveraging your linkages in the way that you do.
I'm a servant.
I like that. Thou good and humble servant indeed. The director of the high school basketball portal, Robert Henry, thank you for joining us. And a man who makes change wherever he goes, Lawrence Steckman. I say that broadly because if I tell you the change, you'll be shocked. Lawrence, as attorney at law, thank you so very much for your phenomenal input into the development of basketball and the opportunities for our young people of Barbados, young boys and girls, to be seen, recruited, and to play at the next level. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for all of this. Thank you so much. Thank
you. My pleasure.
You're welcome. Morning Barbados breaks here. We're coming back in just a moment.
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Week after week, Scold presents exciting reports and documentaries on the most varied topics of our time. Spectacular developments and innovations, lifestyle and trends of tomorrow, mobility and tourism, health news, highlights from art and culture. Each contribution grabs the viewer with extraordinary images and stories and takes him into fascinating worlds which he experiences here exclusively and up close. We're there when companies and specialists develop super satellites for a global network in space and can look behind the scenes. Scold is a window to everything that is there or is yet to come. Fly with us through time to better understand today and tomorrow. You've always wanted that. Scold, a look into the future.
Our world today is not the world God wants it to be. One of the reasons, which will surprise many, is that our planet, its governments, and its peoples are all living under the weight of Satan's rule. From the beginning of mankind's existence to today, human history is the written record of what it means to live under the rule of the devil. Yet that rule is coming to an end, and what a difference that will make.
Every Sunday at 9 a.m. on CBC TV 8, tune in for Tomorrow's World, sponsored by the Living Church of God.
Some ask, what makes Barbados so special? We at Mornin Barbados say it's you, our exceptional youth. You are talented, resilient, and inspirational. You are the epitome of the Barbadian spirit, testing the boundaries of your creativity. If you are an entrepreneur, artist, baker, designer, author, or have done anything you think should be highlighted, email us at morninbarbados@cbc.bb. Let us show the world our exceptional Bajan youth.
From the beautiful shores of the gem of the Caribbean, Barbados, home of the amazing Harrison's Cave, the tantalizing Oystins Bay Garden, our historic garrison, the indigenous road tennis, and the friendliest people in the world. We are 94.7 FM, the ultimate Bajan experience.
There is a saying, you can find a Bajan anywhere. Are you a Bajan living abroad? Or do you know of one who has migrated to another country?
Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
So we're 60 minutes now to go to 8 o'clock. We want to spend some time looking back into Jamaica. The picture was not so pretty following Hurricane Melissa. We heard of devastation, almost complete desolation of certain parts of Jamaica. Not all of Jamaica, some parts of Jamaica. And so, as Caribbean people, we rose up and we stood in solidarity with and we sought to support. The question is, what does the picture look like now? We want to get an update by media practitioner Shelly-Ann Weeks. Good morning to you, Shelly-Ann. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. What does the picture look like now?
Well, you know, Hurricane Melissa was a Category 5 hurricane, and as you can imagine, we had to go through a lot of trauma just trying to survive. Several weeks later, we are still surviving. Some of us are still without homes. In the most affected areas, there are still a lot of persons who are displaced. We have been doing a lot of support, both from the state and the citizens of Jamaica, because, you know, we all have to jump in and help one another. And big thank you, by the way, because Barbados was here for us. And you guys really came in the moments when we needed you, and we are so happy for that support. But yes, the progress is slow. There are still a lot of persons who are not yet in a home. There are still schools that are out. There are still businesses that have not been able to recover. But for the most part, Jamaica is open for business. Kingston was not affected in a severe way. So Kingston is the brain of Jamaica. So because of that, it's making it possible for the rest of Jamaica, especially the most affected areas, to be supported. The government has been giving grants to people to help them build back. They have been giving different support systems in communities. That this community that we're seeing on the screen here is a fishing community where people would stop by. It's a very popular tourist space. They give support to open back those businesses because, you know, the commerce has to keep on going so that the communities can come back. There are different areas that have gotten that kind of support, and there are still, you know, different people on the ground that are supporting people on an individual level as well. Organizations like myself, Her Flow Foundation, we are still supporting people on the ground. There are lots of other organizations doing a whole heap of work on the ground to just keep people recovering with dignity. So, you know, the progress is happening, but it's still moving quite slow.
There are a few things that I'm hearing you to say, and I want to tackle one by one. In recovery, we can return assets. We can work on that.
Yes.
But the return of the spirit and handling the mental space, what provisions have been put in place so that the people who've seen devastation of livelihood and life in some instances, what has been put in place so that they are able to recover now?
Well, there isn't a response that's the one size response that everybody can tap into. Really, what has been happening is that what Melissa gave us, and I'm calling it a gift, is Melissa forced the community spirit to come back to Jamaica. And that has been a very, very big part of what is helping people maintain their spirit, what has been helping people stay focused, and even in the middle of all of the losing the assets, they can still function, is the spirit of the community. So we have a lot of Jamaicans on the ground that are looking out for their neighbors. They're making sure that the shut-in people are visited and they have food to eat, they get their medication. All who need to get medical assistance, they're taking them out, taking them to the clinics and stuff like that. But there isn't a specific program that is in place to say, okay, call this number or everybody can access this particular program. From the side of the government, there have been some grants distributed so far. Care packages have been distributed, but the infrastructure is still slow on that build. You know, generally government will have one pace, I always say, slow. So there is still a lot of work to be done on that side. But the community spirit is alive and well in Jamaica, and I'm happy to see it. I've gone to communities where people are just bringing food and cooking a big pot and making sure that everybody in the community gets something to eat, something hot to eat, you know? So the community spirit has been very important in that part of the recovery.
That's what we keep hearing about Jamaica and Jamaicans indeed, and that's admirable. You know, we see people who've swooped in, social media influencers, who've added to helping the cause and who are just trying to cheer people up as they give, but give in connection. Connection is what's important, because in that displacement, people got separated. And you spoke to how people are coming together still as a community to say, no, I'm your brother, I'm still here through this with you. The spaces that were most devastated were considered to be almost the breadbasket of Jamaica. Lots of agriculture was done there. What is it like now and returning to some degree of normalcy, or providing the wherewithal so that those people who practiced agriculture can get back to the skills and to create food for people?
Well, on this front, I have wonderful news, because the farmers that were able to got to work right away. So now there are places that are reporting surplus in their crops. They have lots of vegetables are back. The peppers are back. The farms are doing different crops. Farming is back. People have gone into farming who were not farming before. So that part of it is, I have really good news on that front. You know, people are planting in their backyards now. There are persons who they have seen cases where they have surplus on their farm, so they pack them up and get them to people who need them. And so stuff like that. The farmers are farming, and the plants are growing. One thing with Jamaica that has been very good for us is that our soil is very fertile. So if you plant something here, it will grow, and farmers have been getting to work. They've been getting a lot of support as well. So we're very happy to report that the food part of it, growing back the food, that process has started. We have been starting to see crops being reaped, and so that is still happening and developing. St. Elizabeth is where we had a lot of our farming done, and just based on what I'm seeing coming out of the agriculture ministry is that there is definite plans to diversify to ensure that we don't have any one location so saturated with most of the farming, because obviously we have to learn from the lessons of Melissa. So on that front, I am happy to say that we are doing pretty well and improving as we go along.
That's great news. We're excited about that. That's fantastic indeed. Spare thought for the children for just a moment, because schools were also impacted. And so what happened now? What's happening where it is providing a space for children to have formal education and to just come together emotionally to connect with other children? What's happening now?
Well, I'm happy you brought out the emotional part of it, because I think that part is still lacking. I think that opportunities for children to play is still lacking. I mean, there's a lot of focus on getting them back in the classroom. In some communities, they have put children, taken them from where they are and put them in places where the schools are accessible, where they can get to go. But in terms of the play, in terms of the mental assistance, in terms of, just trying to get them in a space where they can feel good, I think we still have a lot of work to do on that front. And that is something that we are currently working on. Even with my own organization, we went into communities and we did projects with arts, and we did different things to, just some light, fun games and play. But I don't think there's enough of that happening right now. Even for the adults, I think that part of the plans that the government should have in place is some sort of mental health intervention, because trust and believe, people are depressed. A lot of persons are traumatized. We still haven't dealt with what that means mentally for the nation as yet, and I think that is going to be part of the recovery that we really have to invest in.
You're quite right on that, Scott. It will take some time to be able to get it right. Oftentimes, when we're met with devastation all around, we flee, we get away from, either for our own mental space or just because I just want to go somewhere where it's thriving. Have you seen a lot of people in St. Elizabeth and those areas that have been severely impacted moving out and moving into other parts of the island that are thriving?
Yeah, man, for sure. There are a lot of persons who have been displaced that have moved into different parts of the parishes, whether between through having family members that they can stay with, or friends that they can stay with, or maybe their jobs will facilitate them moving into another space where they can get to work at another branch. So that has been happening. But there are people who just don't have the resources to move, and they don't have anywhere to go. So, people have been making do with where they are. And for me, I think those are the people that we need to prioritize, because the truth is, there are persons that just did not have what they needed before Hurricane Melissa, and Hurricane Melissa just made it worse for them. So we still have some areas where the support needs to be better than it is now, but it is a very big problem. And St. Elizabeth is one of our biggest parishes. And as you know, it's not just St. Elizabeth that was devastated. It's about 6 parishes in the western side of the island. St. Elizabeth got most of the devastation, obviously, but other parishes were impacted as well. So there's quite a few homes. Last I saw was over 50,000 people that were just completely displaced. And so the efforts to get them into permanent homes and get them into a place where they can survive and thrive, that is underway. But like I said, the pace is quite slow.
It's a massive return to normalcy. But in returning to normalcy, you want to restore, for a lot of people, dignity. And I know it seems, well, you keep talking about your organization, my organization, my organization. I suspect that the organization of which you speak is engaged in all of that as well. Tell us a little bit more about the services that your organization renders at this time in restoring dignity to the people who've been impacted.
Well, my organization is Her Flow Foundation, and we focus mostly on reproductive health support and education. One of our flagship projects is to end period poverty in Jamaica. And as you can imagine, in crisis, the increase of the amount of persons that we use to support has been evident. And so what we have been doing in terms of our outreach is to make sure that Jamaicans recover in dignity. As a matter of fact, that is the name of our campaign that's dedicated to Hurricane Melissa recovery. And what that means is that we want to ensure that people have their personal care items and clothes to wear, and just for them to feel clean and feel confident in themselves as they navigate. Because a lot of persons do not have the resources where they can just sit around and wait for somebody to come and help them. They need to be in a position where they can get up and help themselves. And what we try to do is to give them the tools that they need so that they can get to that. They can get to the helping of themselves. And so it is really important for us to support them. So we've been supplying care packages. We've been making sure that people have the personal care items that they need, menstrual products that they need. We've been supporting schools as well, because some schools are open, but girls still don't have the menstrual products that they need to function. So we've been supplying that to them. And it's just been really challenging to see how, something so simple can be such an obstacle. So we really just try to make sure that those items are provided for the person so that they can go to school and they can go to work and they can feel good in themselves while they do it. Because as you can see, we still have much work to do. And big ups to a lot of the civil society organizations that are on the ground doing this work as well. There's a lot of us out there working, and we know that, as the government find their stride and get into getting people back on some sort of level of normalcy, we still have to look at the human being in that conversation and support them as much as we can while the recovery continues.
Absolutely. You wear so proudly on your chest by your pendant the form of the map of Jamaica. And so as Jamaica rises, Jamaican pride, and as Jamaica now rises from the devastation caused by Hurricane Melissa, do you get a sense that it's beginning to be forgotten? It's not as important still to the people of the Caribbean? And what would you want to say to peoples of the Caribbean to so that we continue and keep it foremost in our minds?
Well, you know what? We are very resilient people generally. Jamaicans are resilient, and even us in the generally Caribbean people are resilient people. We have a very, very strong history that forced us to face a lot of difficulties and come out on top. So that was just great practice for what you're going through now. So first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to Barbados. Has been very supportive of Jamaica from day one. Your prime minister came here and she brought goodies, and we are so grateful, because at the end of the day, we are all neighbors and we all need to support each other in moments of needs, and Barbados stepped up for us, so we are so grateful. What I would say to the people of the Caribbean is come to Jamaica and spend your money. What we need is the commerce. If our economy is doing well, we can recover faster, we can keep people employed, we can keep people fed, and that is really where our pride is. We are not those people who are looking for somebody to come and rescue us. We want to be empowered so we can help ourselves, because we know that you have your life to go back to and you can't spend your time just helping us. So we want to be in a position where we can continue to help ourselves. And that is why we talk about supporting our economy. Instead of going to the cold places, come over here, so come spend your money and eat some nice food and enjoy some nice music. And it's reggae month in Jamaica right now. Come to Jamaica and feel all right. Jamaica is open for business.
I love it. Shelly-Ann Weeks, I thank you. That's a wonderful way to end. But thank you so much for your positive spirit and your smile that still radiates through it all, indeed. And so continue doing well the work that you do with your organization as well. So thank you so much for sharing the update with us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me.
You're very welcome. Shelly-Ann Weeks, a media worker, but a real driver of change in Jamaica. And we continue to support her. We continue to support the recovery efforts following Hurricane Melissa there as well. Let's keep them in our minds, ladies and gentlemen, lest we forget. And don't forget, it hasn't passed us yet. So prepare. And that's it for today, everybody. We thank you so very much for joining us. My little crew joins me in saying to all of you, have a terrific today. Be the will of the Lord. We'll see you tomorrow. And it reminded me now, Q in the community, by the way, is at by the Barbadian market by Spring Garden Highway, the Granville. You understand what I'm saying? There it is. Look, First Lady Bar, just there by the Barbadian market off the Mighty Grinder Highway. It starts at 11. It runs till Thy Kingdom Come. The first bus is leaving the gate number 1 at the Granville Williams Terminal, and we want you to get out there in your numbers. First Lady Bar, right there in the Barbadian market off the Mighty Grinder Highway. So, as I was saying, be the will of the Lord. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Barbados, get up. Good morning.